Well, hello there, my dear, my awesome friend, Castella.
Oh, hey, Bob. Should I call you Bob or Bobby or
You know what? My real, true, ride or die homies, they call me Bobby.
well,
So for
Bobby it
this,
is.
Bobby it is today. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I am well. I am great. I am great. I am excited to have you on my Lyrically Speaking podcast, my first international recording artist. This is like a
Ooh,
red letter day.
that's me.
First, that's right. That's right.
Congratulations on your podcast.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you. Just one of those middle of the night ideas saying, what else can I, take on that
Mhm.
will take up sleep and have me all over the place. But yeah, this has been a labor of love to try to, create just another platform for talented artists and individuals like yourself. So
Oh, thank
thank you
you.
so much for accepting the invitation.
My pleasure. My
So our
pleasure.
listeners know where you are reigning from. Where international means international, so you could literally be anywhere in the world. So where are you right now?
Right now, I am in Long Beach, California.
Long Beach. Is that they is the LBC? Am I
LBC, Long Beach, Lakewood,
Long Beach
California.
Lakewood?
They're
Okay,
neighboring cities. So yeah,
okay,
so
okay.
Southern Cal.
From
Mhm.
Southern California. Yeah, have you been there your whole life? Just kind of give us that a little history, a little bio. Have you always been a Californian?
Yes,
Yes. All
I am a
right.
native of California,
Awesome.
born and raised in Long Beach, went to college in Long Beach, got married in Long Beach,
Okay.
had my kids out in, well, they were born in Harbor City, but everything I've done in Long Beach. So yeah,
Gotcha.
I'm a
Gotcha.
Long Beach girl.
Well, I
Mhm.
got I got some California roots. I wouldn't call them roots. Maybe they were some California extensions, maybe so to
Mhm.
speak, because I did a stint there in the Bay Area in San
Mhm.
Francisco. So just from a distance wise, how far, how close was I from you when I was in the Bay Area? What's that distance?
You're a little ways away, depending
What
on
was it?
how your mode of transportation.
Okay,
It could
gotcha.
take you an hour on a plane and about 6 to 7 hours in a car.
Okay, okay,
Yeah. So,
cool. You make it up to the Bay Area often or
I
at all?
actually, I do. Actually, my husband is actually from the Bay Area. That's where he's
Nice.
from. I'm a diehard Oakland Raider fan, and
Okay.
anything
Okay.
Oakland, the
Okay.
Warriors and the A's and all
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Um, but I actually had a job there recently, working in a little small town. So I would drive about 7 hours to go to work and spend about 3 days out there, work and come back home. But it
Okay.
was during those times, or during that time that I did that job, that I was able to, kind of lay down the foundation to my latest single,
Gotcha.
"So Into You,"
Awesome.
after, which is a remake of the Atlanta Rhythm Section's a 1977 hit, and so I decided to remake it, and it's been wonderful. But yeah, that 7 hour drive, it was kind of one of those situations that uh, was, I guess, stepping out on faith for me, because
Right.
I'm a girl, like driving all by myself, and
Right. Right.
but I saw that as an opportunity, or a way of God was preparing me for what was to come for me, which is touring as this recording artist, and getting out on the road, and
Hmm.
staying in a town for a couple of days and coming back home, and working. And so that's kind of how I took that assignment, as preparing me for Castella, getting out there and doing some touring, and which I did get to do. I got to do a little tour of Houston, which was a lot of fun, and just
Nice.
looking forward to getting out and doing more, touring more
Awesome.
of the United States and abroad.
That's awesome. Awesome. Now, where did this music journey begin? I love your sound, love your music. Of
Thank you.
course, I'm probably your number one North Coast fan coming here from
Thank you.
in Cleveland. But where did the journey actually begin as far as your pursuing this thing we call music?
Well, it just really depends on what you're talking about.
Hmm.
But I would say my foundation was at my church. That's where I discovered voice, where I discovered singing, and that they would push you, get out there and lead a song, and so I had my very first opportunity to get out in front at my church,
Okay.
and that of course was fostered there, continuing on in the different choirs, and then we'd have little groups, and I was in a group at my church. And then I had an opportunity to go and sing at this thing, at this, it's called it was kind of a workshop choir. And that workshop choir had Maddie Moss Clark to come in at the end of it and kind of fix it. And
Okay.
and it was really cool because all the artists that were there, or all the songs that were presented, were original songs written by different gospel artists that would present these songs to us as a choir. And then Maddie Moss Clark would come in at the end and kind of whip everything into shape. Of course, I wasn't writing songs or doing anything at the time, but it was just really a cool opportunity. But, I got a chance to, do singing in that vein, and then just fast forwarding all the way to today,
Right.
along in my journeys, I had met one of my organ players, which actually all of my organ players are all special to me. But
Aren't
this organ player,
aren't keyboard players and organs, aren't they just the most special individuals
they are.
that got everybody? I just, shameless plug. I just had to put that in
I'm
there,
sure if
man.
you were in my church, you would have been special too. But yeah, the this particular one, his name is Gabriel Crenshaw. He was doing some work, and he asked me to come in, some session work, and asked me to come do some background. We're actually in a group together too, his group called Gabriel and some other angels. And so he was recording a couple of his songs, and I went in, oh my gosh, goodness. And so we went in, and uh I'm sorry, can we pause this real quick for a
No,
second?
yeah, go ahead.
Can you
Go
hear
ahead.
that?
It's
I need to be in a studio like you. I'm at home.
we got technology on this end. We gonna hook it up.
Okay. Yeah, they decided to start, sawing outside,
Oh, that's all right.
But anyway,
Well, at least you somewhere that they can saw outside. It's about 20 degrees here, so ain't no sawing going on. Trust me.
oh no, it is hot out here today
Is
in
it?
California. It's very
Wow.
warm.
Wow.
So anyway, so in that session, I met my engineer, who is my mentor, my friend, Daryl Swan, and he really planted the seed, asking me if I had ever written melodies or lyrics. And then first of all, asking me if I had ever thought about doing an EP. And
Okay.
of course, I said no. And then, of course, in our conversation, he asked me a number of things. And one of them was, do I write lyrics and melodies? He also asked me about what would my stage look like? And these are like really interesting questions. And it was I guess in my search, looking him up, because I'm like, who is this guy? I did a Google search of Daryl Swan,
Mhm.
and it says he's an American record producer. And I'm like, oh wow. And did some more searching and found a podcast that he had done. And in that podcast, he talked about, demos, and how demos now are not the same because
Right.
everyone has this gear now where it's not the same as it used to be back in the day. And one of the things he talked about was how he would find a new artist. Now and oddly enough, this podcast was taped about a year before I met him. And so he was talking about how what he would do, like if a person has a personality and she has a good voice, and I asked this and that and that, and I was like, oh my God, that's what he did with me. So
Right.
he saw me as an artist, even at that point in time, and early on. And so I'm just chugging along, and he's really, really proud of me. And that's really how I got my start with this. It's just singing with some amazing vocalists, my friends Gabriel and Charlotte, with an amazing track and an amazing producer to just really, I got the bug. Once I got done with that session, I just wanted more. And so
Awesome.
yeah, so
Awesome.
anyway, that's how we got here.
That's
That
great.
was the
That's
start.
great. Now
Mhm.
bring us into, I get, the starting the foundation church and your collaboration. But now bring us into, some of these songs. And I think we first met I mean, I believe I heard you and I was like, oh my goodness, who is this? Who is this voice? And I think we might have been um, on the Smooth Jazz Network chart maybe at the same time, and I think that's how I noticed you.
We were
But
on the Billboard chart
oh,
together.
that's right, that's right. We ended.
Yes,
I
let's
think
get it right.
let's get it
We
right.
were
Okay,
we were on
okay.
the Billboard most added chart
That's right.
together.
At the same
Yeah.
time. At the
Uh-huh.
same time. So
Hmm.
your first release, your first single.
Yeah.
So what was that transition like? You know, going from church and going from, you know, those roots, and that is a little more humble, you know, beginning, but to jump right into Billboard rotations, ads, and I mean that just has to be a remarkable feeling. And what was that like?
It's still like, what do you got, pinching myself, you know? It's just like, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable. You know, I wrote the songs, and, you know, once I finished the EP, and it was in August of 2019. Well, actually I finished it before that, but once we released it, you know, well, you know how it all goes. Once I got done with all the records, they were
Right.
mixed mastered. It's like, what do you want to do? And then that's when we were like, I think I want to release them to the world. And so that's when the whole engine really started. Like, okay, who am I? You know,
Right.
am I going to just be, you know, Kathy? Because my name is actually Kathy Rebecca Crowell Thompson is my name.
Okay.
But you know, it's like, is that who I want to be
Right.
as this artist? Because I was a human resources director at
Mhm.
a local agency. So, you know, we had these city council meetings on, you know, public access television. And I was thinking, do I want my name to be out as this, you know, recording artist? And then
Right.
also, and maybe I was thinking large, like, you know, hey, I don't want anybody coming and stalking me at the council meeting because they'll see my name. So, you know, I was thinking about, who should I be? Should I be Kathy or just Kathy? Actually, that was a name I thought about, being just Kathy as an artist name.
Okay.
And then I threw out, a friend of mine, we were talking, and I was like, so how, I threw out all these names, and Castella was one of them. And he's like, oh yeah, that's great. You should go with that.
So
And, you
where
know,
did that where did that come from? How did you derive that as a performance, as a stage name?
well, Castella is my grandmother's nickname. And my grandmother is, I'm named after her,
Okay.
both of my grandmothers. So Kathy Rebecca,
Hmm.
Kathy, and my grandmother's name was Kathleen. And then my dad's mom was Rebecca. So
Gotcha.
I'm named after my two grandmothers. And a funny story, initially my name was supposed to be Tracy Renee. Do I look like a Tracy?
Um, Turn your head to the side. I'm just kidding. No, I can't see Tracy. I see Kathy. I see Kathy all over the place.
Yeah, well, that was supposed to be my name, Tracy Renee, up until almost before I was born. And
Okay.
my mother reluctantly named me Kathy. I mean, she was not happy with that, because my aunt
Hmm.
Ling May said, hey, how about you name the baby Kathy after her grandmother's? And my mother's like, okay. And so she did. And so that same auntie, you know, she says that I just totally embody my grandmother, my mother Kathleen, or Miss Castella, as they called her back in Alabama. So, you know, it's really an honor to my grandmother. I mean,
That
I just
is
smile whenever I
such an
think about
honor.
it, you know,
Such an
thinking
honor.
about Miss Castella. And my grandmother was such a sweet lady.
Hmm.
She was a peacemaker. She could cook, and she just loved all of us. And that's really, you know, she loved all of us babies, all of her grandkids, her kids, and she was just an amazing lady. And to be able to, you know, say Castella, and for people to, you know, hear about my grandmother through
Right.
this, is pretty amazing.
That is. It's amazing that, you know, her spirit is still
Mm.
live through your music
Yeah,
and through your testimony. That's awesome. So
her name.
that's exactly. So that
Yeah.
first single, what was the name of that? What was the
Mm.
just kind of tell us a little about that first introduction to mainstream music. Was what was the name of that song?
Okay, the song was called No Ordinary Love.
No Ordinary
And
Love.
yes, yeah. And that was the first song that I recorded.
Okay.
It wasn't the first song that I wrote, but it
Mhm.
was the first song that I recorded. And the first song that I sent to my producer at the time, his name is Corey Stampley, amazing fella.
Mhm.
Um, And that's a whole nother story in and of itself.
So it's another podcast or another story.
No, it's the same thing. It's just this
Okay.
journey that I was on, that not that I was, that I am on, and all these amazing things that just got lined up for me along the way. And Corey was one of them.
Okay.
And so I had written this song, and so I had been writing, and Daryl's like, well, you need to put all these songs you need to, number one, find someone to put chords to your melodies.
Okay.
And so Corey just popped up in my church one Sunday, and he was hitting all these chords. I'm like, he hit one there. I love that. He hit another one. I'm like, oh, I love that. And I said, I'm going to ask him if he can help me. And so he's like, sure. So I sent him the first song, which actually is Thinking About You, which is the title track of my EP, which had no foundation or anything, but I put the song to a click, and then he was able to work magic with it. But the song is really, my mother always tells me, you shouldn't tell people what the song is about because they could be thinking something else. And it's like, well, okay, well, the song is just really a love song. It's really a love song about, loving something or someone so much that you would, do things you wouldn't normally do, like, run around and buy things that you wouldn't buy, or wear lipstick, or, and you would change your world around just to be in love with that thing or that person. So that's what the song is about.
Well, we're going to listen to a little of No Ordinary Love. Then I'm going to come back and ask you some private, probing questions about it. How about that?
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
So this is No Ordinary Love by Castella.
Got me feeling kinda loose. Ain't no ordinary love I feel for you. Got me running all around. Got me feeling like a clown. Kinda feeling like a fool just for you. Ain't nothing I wouldn't do. I wouldn't do.
That's hot. That is hot. Now I'm gonna tell you, from one musician, one artist to another. When I hear that, I see a scene. I see a movie scene. The imagery, from your lyrics and from the vocals and from the beat, from the track. It puts me somewhere. It puts me somewhere where I can see this scene, and that song is playing in the background. So as the writer, what did you see when you brought that song to life?
Man, see, now you're getting into, I have to tell about what I was doing.
Yes.
And, there was one day that I was just kind of dancing around in my room. Mm-hmm. And it was because I had really rediscovered my love for the music. So now I got to tell you what the song's about. So going back to those sessions that I had with my friend Gabriel and Charlotte and Daryl, and then meeting Corey, and I had another friend that's that has been real instrumental. His name is Ed. All those people were really had really helped transform me, really. And I was just so in love with the process, with the music, and I had rediscovered my love for it, and I just could not get enough. I was just so in love with my music, and that really inspired the song. And so the particular day that the whole got me dancing in my room thing came about, I was kind of dancing around in my room, and I always talk about my Fitbit because I got my Fitbit here, and I needed to get more steps, and so I was dancing around, and my son was like, you seem antsy, you want to go for a walk? So we went for a walk, and I came back, and I was still just dancing around in my room, and that's kind of stuck with me, and got me dancing in my room.
Right.
And so that was just the love of the music, and what was happening in my life at that time just really had me so sprung.
Yeah, I just think that's fascinating because most people don't really get inside of where the artist don't go inside the artist's mind. You know what I'm saying? They hear the track, they hear the song, they play it in their car or they're listening to it at home. But how often do they get to hear, from the artist, like where that came from? You know what I'm saying? So that's why I know sometimes we try to keep like, I don't want nobody to know where this vibe came from, because I'm like that too. It's like, sometimes you have to keep it, to protect what they say, to protect the protect the innocence.
Yeah.
Oh
For
yes.
yourself.
So we're not gonna expose any songwriting and creative secrets on this podcast. The next podcast, though, we're gonna go deep when we have you on. Your next release, because I think that, like you say, I think that was the song where we first were introduced to each other. Yes.
Yeah.
But then the next one, I think it was a little more up tempo. Correct? Am I right?
Yeah. It did.
So,
The next one, my next release was called Let Me Love You.
Let Me Love You.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
that interesting story with that one too. Again, I wrote that one kind of shortly after interesting time. I wrote it right after my EP release party.
Okay.
Which also was right around the time I lost my job. So it was crazy. But so that song was really kind of off the heels of having had such an amazing, epic evening with all of those people that I love. I mean, I had my friends and, everyone on my production team and my family was all there. And it's like, when can I see you again? When can I see you, baby? So.
And that one has a video as well, doesn't it?
Yes, that one has a video. Yes. So that was really, the kind of the foundation of that song. And sometimes as a songwriter, I'm a hopeless romantic. So I'll take something and I'll just kind of go off in left field and it'll become this crazy love song thing, which is what that song is about. Kind of goes into some different directions. But again,
now I have to ask you this because, I'm from that other part of the country where, we don't have necessarily the year-round weather, so to speak. So, but I'm just curious from an artistic standpoint, how does that southern sunny, because when I hear that song, I definitely see sun, ocean, driving on is it the 101 or is it am I close? 101? Okay, see, I remember my California days. How does that element in that environment, just having that Southern California energy, impact you as a writer or your creativity? You know what I'm saying? When you could just wake up and just see, sun and mountains and the ocean and the, you know what I'm saying? Does it somehow inspire you as a writer?
Well, yesterday somebody told me that, let's see what they said about me, because I kind of wrote it down. They said I have a carefree innocence and a free spirit. And maybe that's just from coming from California.
Yeah, I hear that in your music, but I can relate to that because I hear that in your music.
This is home for me. So, I mean, it's and then just me as a person, I'm just, I just try to always find the positive side of things. Now, don't get me wrong. I have written some stuff that's, may not seem so happy. And, I actually had kind of started writing down that path when I was kind of starting my writing. There were some things that were kind of going on, and I was in a writer's workshop with Daryl, and that's like, because really didn't know what I was doing, so I was writing, and he really told me that I was a songsmith. You write really, really well, he told me, and but initially things were like kind of seemed a little dark, and I was like, this guy's gonna think I'm crazy. So I started trying to tap into the more positive, side of life, and you really that takes you have to do that yourself. You can, some people do like to write dark, but I decided, nobody wants to really, all of your songs,
right.
They don't want to hear, anything negative. They want to be uplifted. They want to feel happy. and that's what I strive for in my music, is that I want people to feel happy when the song stops. They're like, oh, that feels so good.
Right.
I want to hear that again.
Yeah,
And
you definitely
that's
get
kind of.
that vibe from that song. It's very uplifting. In the video, you got a little swag going on in the video. I've seen it a few times. Let's roll into that. Let's roll into that. Let
Okay.
me love you video, and so we can and it's nice and sunny.
Yeah.
And where did you film that? Where did you shoot that?
I shot that in Long Beach,
Long Beach.
California.
Okay.
The opening scenes are at my mom's house on my mother's porch, and the whole
Nice.
concept behind the video is, my husband. We went to college together, and when we were dating, that's where he would come, and I want to see him, and he would come to the scene of the crime, which is my mama's house.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
yeah.
Just let me love you. Hey, when can I see you? You gonna come over tonight? Okay, all right. I'll see you then. Bye. When can I see you, baby? When can I love you, baby? When can I hold you tight? Come on, let's get it right. So how about you call me, baby? Make your way to me, baby. So I can love you, babe. So you can love me, baby. Come take my hand, baby. Walk through the breeze with me. My love comes with ease, babe. That's 'cause it's you and me. I give in freely, baby. I let you go deeply, baby. No holding back for me. No holding back for you. You're not so far away. Oh, baby, make your way right to me, babe. Come love me, babe. The natural air, the breeze. Our loving comes so easy. Hold me, babe. Come see me, babe. Just let me love you, baby. Let me love you. 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 Let me love
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you have a song out now,
Mm-hmm.
and it is definitely, climbing the charts every time I look up. Matter of fact, let's talk about, you know, I introduced this as my first international artist. Seems like you're doing well across the waters. Tell us a little about what's going on overseas.
Oh man, you
Yes.
know, well, actually, that song too, "Let Me Love You," actually made it to number one in Italy, so that was pretty cool.
Awesome.
And
Awesome.
just to also lead into uh, that song was produced by Jeff Kennedy. It had a
Yes.
different
Yes.
producer. Actually, had to go and find him. Actually, a friend of mine, one of your fraternity brothers, Willie Bradley,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
took
Yeah.
me on to Jeff, and Jeff is amazing, and he actually cranked out a I guess a scratch uh what do you call it, track for me
Hmm.
within
Hmm.
like a day, with like the same day, and so we've been kind of partners ever since. Don't want to ever
Awesome.
let him go. So but this next song, I think you're maybe, I don't know if you're talking about "So Glad I Met
Oh
You" or
yes. Yes.
"Going to You,"
Yes.
but "So Glad I Met You" is another one that I wrote around the same time as "Let
Hmm.
Me Love You" and all that. I think I may have written that one before "Let Me Love You." So it's crazy how, you write songs and, you think maybe this one, I think this one could have a life, and you just kind of go for it, which is what I did with "So Glad I Met You." But yeah, as far as internationally, I've gotten, it was a goal of mine to, reach the UK, and, and I kind of have you know, I do have a promoter, a radio promoter who did help me out with that. And so, but again, with music, if you can have, I guess, all kinds of promoters, but if they're not digging it, they won't play it.
That's true.
So,
Very true.
but yeah, but it made it. "So Glad I Met You," and I have a remix of that one too, which was remixed by a French producer who heard the song and reached out to me and asked me if he could remix it. And I'm like, oh, I never thought about remixing that song. And but yeah, he did an amazing job on it. Actually, just kind of pulled out all of the stuff in the song that I really love, which is those backgrounds. He
Right.
accented all that stuff and just gave it a nice new beat. But it made it to number one on the UK soul, not soul chart. That's not, no, it didn't make it that far. It made it number one on UK Soul Breakers chart, made it to number one. Actually, that one um made it there, and also "So Into You" made it number one on the UK Breakers chart. Um, "So Glad I Met You" was number one on in Canada, and actually right now, "So Into You" is number one in Canada as well on the T-Rex radio.
Awesome.
Yeah, number two in Italy on the R&B. So I mean, yeah, I mean, just
Mhm.
it's crazy, So
No,
I've
you're
had
doing
some
it. You are doing your
had some
thing.
coverage with the UK, Italy and Spain and Canada, and I'm just like, wow. Um,
That's awesome.
and just
That's
I'm
awesome.
just wild and overwhelmed with it at times. So, but yeah, "So Glad I Met You" was just one of those things, one of those phrases you say to people, like, "So glad I met you." Like, "I'm so glad I met you, Bobby." you know?
Out, you just took the words right out of my mouth. I am so glad I met you.
Yeah.
And so to those that are aspiring to, follow in your footsteps, uh, writers, arrangers, vocalists, so and you're independent artists. What would you, any suggestions of those that are trying to not only get into this business or to um, share their craft,
Mhm.
but they just love music and they want to, be on a platform like platforms you're on. What would you suggest? What are some encouraging, words or advice that you may give, aspiring artists?
Well, I would say, I mean, for me, I think the best thing that I believe I had going for me is my production. So having a good team of producers and mixers and people that master
Hmm.
your music, and then also, the musicians and such, all of that stuff really matters. If it, I mean, of course, my vocal ability is something completely different,
Hmm.
but having that team behind you is, I think, probably one of the most important things, which has been I think a key to my success is just having those people, that, having a veteran in the business that I had no idea who this guy was,
Right.
which is Daryl Swan. I had no idea of his history. And, he's been in the business a long time. And he always talks about, not always, but he's very proud of this. He says, is that one of his first sessions was with the Whispers when they recorded the song Rock Steady.
Mm-hmm.
So he was in that session recording that.
Wow.
And so, just knowing that, the person that heard me and found something special about me has heard a gazillion voices. He's worked with Macy Gray,
Mm-hmm.
the song I Try. He's one of the writers. He created that song along with her. So for him to hear something special in me, it's amazing. But again, your team is critical. It's important. You can do it all by yourself, but it's good to have some people along to help.
That's awesome. That's
Mhm.
awesome. Well, that is great advice. And I'm
Mhm.
sure there are those that are going to take that to heart.
Yeah.
I'm just so, it's just going to sound so cliche. I'm just so glad I met you.
Oh, I'm so glad I met you too.
And I am so glad you were willing to come on the podcast. And we're going to close out with your latest. And we're going to let you introduce it. And then we'll close out with that. But before you go, you have to tell us, how to follow you, how to keep up with you, into any social media that we can, connect with you, where we can access your music. So just tell us, how do we, continue our vibe with Castella?
Oh, so it's over already. Darn. Okay. That's the one thing I like to talk just as much as I like to sing. So, well, you can find me at castellamusic.com. That's Castella music, MUSICK, not K. That's wrong, with a C. MUSIC.com music. Let me back that up. Castellamusic.com. That is where you can find me. And all of my social media links are on that website. So if you go there, you can just click on any of those links and you can go to my Facebook, my Twitter, my YouTube. I'm also on TikTok too, as Castella Music. I don't know what I'm doing there yet, but I'm gonna figure something out. But I'm there too. So that's where you can find me, castellamusic.com.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, real easy.
Well, thank you, Castella. And look to have you back real soon. Matter of fact, I'm looking to have you in person. We're going to figure that out. I'm going to either have to come out there, or maybe once it gets warmer, because you have been east. You were east not too long ago, right?
I went to Texas.
Texas? Okay.
I'm not sure if that's too. It wasn't quite cold yet.
Right.
Yeah, but my kids all went to school back east. My kids went to school in Philadelphia and
Okay.
New York. And
Okay.
so I would, after I think maybe March, April, then I would come I would go out there. But in between, like
Right.
after I guess October, so from November to March.
We not gonna see.
Uh-uh.
Okay.
Now, if somebody were to call me and say, I want you to come do a show, and
Okay.
it's February,
Right.
I'm not gonna say no.
You're not gonna
I
say
would
no.
come. If you
Well,
called me and said, Castella, I want you out here, for a show the weekend of, March 24th or whatever,
Right.
I would come.
Well, we're
I
gonna have
would
to
do it.
figure that out. We're gonna have
Yeah.
to get you here and let you experience some of this Northeast Ohio weather.
Yeah,
But
get us. And actually, that's where Daryl's from, Ohio.
okay,
He went to Shaker Heights.
really, that's
Yeah,
just not
he
too
went-
far from where I'm right now.
Yep.
Awesome, small
Yeah.
world,
Yeah.
small world.
Yeah.
Well, continue giving us great music and a great experience through that vibe of yours that is just smoking hot. It is just
Aw,
blazing.
thank you, Bob.
It's definitely fire, and look forward to following you and as you rise the charts. And I'm claiming it. I see some acting because your music gives me some visualization that I can't get out of my head. So I could see you on a screen performing your music. So when that happens, you remember I said it first.
Well, hey, you know how to put on a production, so let's make it happen. If you got a vision, let's do it.
All right. All right. Well, thanks again. And
So you said you're gonna do this next song of mine. Which one?
oh yeah, okay, yeah. What's let me see. Will we add it in? Will it be not so glad so into you, right?
Oh yeah, So Into You is
Okay.
my latest single.
Okay.
Mhm.
So let's start right there. So I'm gonna say so that latest single of yours,
Mhm.
So Into You.
Mhm.
I am so into it. So
Thank you.
give me that origin of that song, and I'll have you introduce it.
Okay. Well, So Into You is actually my first attempt at a remake outside of my first song that I didn't write, which was Sleigh Ride, which is a
Okay.
Christmas song. If you haven't
Mhm.
heard that, go listen to that. I love it. But anyway, shameless plug for Christmas. But yeah, So Into You is a song that I chose to remake. It's by the Atlanta Rhythm Section. They released it in 1977, and it did really well for them. It made it to #2, I believe, on in Canada, and did really well on the Billboard charts. I think it made it to #7. But aside all of that,
Mhm.
it was just a song that I really liked. And after the first song I was going to do as a cover was I Just Had Your Lovin' and I Can't Let Go by the Isley Brothers.
Mhm.
Found out somebody else had already remade it recently, so I'm like, oh, okay, I can't do that. And then so I don't know, I just that song I'd never heard it redone, So Into You, and so I decided to do it. Talk to my producer Jeff, and he's like, yeah, that'd be cool, because I'm like, do you want to do anything different to it, or? And he's like, no, he said, because you're a girl. So it's just different altogether there. And so that was, I think, like I said earlier, Jeff had finished the track and gave it to me. And so during my one of my 7-hour drives to a little city called Pinole, I listened to that track, and it was when that's how I, kind of came up with all the different ideas in the song that I had. And one of them was that "Come Here, Baby." That was just my favorite part of that
That's a hot
song.
line. Yeah, that
And
line is hot.
yeah, and so I on my scratch vocal, which was probably about 6 minutes long, because I sang the whole time. Uh, I did that about maybe 6, 7 times
Wow.
in the song. But yeah, it's just I have a real passion for 70s music. And so, the 70s classic rock bands, the Eagles
Oh
and
yeah.
America, and
Chicago, the
yeah,
Eagles, Pink
the
Floyd,
Doobie
those,
Brothers,
yeah, that vibe back then.
all that. And also love Christopher Cross and Kenny Loggin is my
Mhm.
guy. So yeah, just all that music is just really is a big part of me and my artistry.
And it's
And
coming back. Those vibes are coming back. I tell people all the time that you dig back into that yesteryear of music. It's today. You
yeah,
know.
James Taylor and
Yeah.
Carole King, and they were just amazing songwriters. And so, but yeah, that song that they had a lot of soul. Just like the name of their group, the Atlanta Rhythm Section.
Right.
Like the rhythm, they had rhythm and soul. And so yeah, I've gotten some really really good reviews about the song that like I did turn the song on its head a little bit and gave it a whole nother vibe.
It
So.
did. It really
Mhm.
did. Well, we're gonna take a
Without losing
listen.
the integrity of the song,
Oh, you
it's that
definitely. It's like if you're gonna redo a song, it either has to, maintain its essence or take it to another level. And I think you took that song to another level.
Oh, thank
And
you.
we're gonna take a listen to uh, "So Into You."
When you walked into the room, there was voodoo in the vibe. See, I was captured captured by your style, but I could not catch your eyes. So I stand here helplessly, hoping you'll get into me. I am so into you, I can't think of nothing else. No, no. See, I am so into.
I could tell you love performing that song live. I could just
I
see.
know.
Am I right? That's
Yes.
one of those ones on stage. You get into it.
Get a little attitude.
Oh yeah, no doubt. No
Because how
doubt.
dare you walk into a room and not notice me?
How just the thought of how could you?
How dare you?
You know what I'm saying? That is awesome. Yeah, that definitely has, that song got all kind of vibe, attitude, elements to it. And like you said, that 70s feel.
Yeah, he had to kind of hold me back because I wanted to do a lot no, and all that stuff in the beginning. Like,
Okay.
like,
He held you back.
held me back
He
just a
held you
little
back
bit.
just a little
Yeah,
bit.
but you kind of save that for later. And
Okay.
yeah, so
Okay.
it was good. That was a fun session. All right, so got a new EP out.
Okay.
It's called Let Me Love You, the EP. When I released Let Me Love You back in September, on my birthday, of September 2020, I said I was gonna release an EP for Let Me Love You, and I did it. I got it done. I did it. And so it includes, of course, Let Me Love You, So Glad I Met You, and my 2 remakes. And also another song I wrote in there called the Central Standard Time Show, Groove, which is a jingle that I wrote for a friend of mine for
Really?
his radio program. It's a trip that people are playing that song.
So they're playing the jingle as if it was a release. Wow.
Yep. Yeah, so I'm like, wow, it's a really neat song. And I actually opened up my show with that song, my live shows. I opened it up with it. And I had an opportunity to sing for the Super Bowl. I was one of the acts at the Taste of Inglewood pregame concert series. And
you're just doing it out there in California.
it was so
Whoa.
fun. Oh my God. So I rewrote it and made it specific for the big game. The Bengals and the Rams came here
Right.
to slam,
Right,
so I rewrote it. And so anyway, that's on there along with the remix. But
Okay.
again, also there's a cover of My Funny Valentine on there too, which I thought I would take a little heat for because, it's My Funny Valentine. And how many times has that song been done?
Not
But
a lot.
I've gotten really good feedback from it. So hopefully you guys will go take a listen at that. I have a new video out for that as well, which I released on Valentine's Day. So,
Okay. Cool.
but yeah, so that's what I got going on is my new EP. I'm so proud of it. And that is actually a culmination of the work I've done with my producer, Jeff Kennedy. And yeah, we did some good stuff together. So
Awesome.
hoping to, keep working with him as well as collaborating with others. I'm getting a lot of people coming and wanting to do work with me, and I'm just have to figure out how to get it all done. Yeah.
Well, save me a track, save me something. I don't care if I'm just playing 2 chords on something, but we've been talking about it for a minute. So
We have. I
We
think
have.
you were probably one of the first people to come to me to want to collaborate. So we definitely have some work we got to do.
I would love to. Well, again, thank you so much for
Thank you, Bobby.
for being on Lyrically Speaking. And you are amazing talent. You're amazing spirit. And I wish you nothing but the best and God's favor in your career and your journey.
Thank you.
You're definitely an inspiration to me.
Oh, well, you are too. You are amazing. I heard one of your songs on the radio yesterday and I tagged you right away. I was like,
You
I hope he
did,
comes
you
on
did.
and hears it. Cause I'm like, oh,
did.
there's my friend.
Yeah, that was
So,
special. That was
yeah.
special.
Mhm.
Well, cool. All right. We will catch you next time, Castella. Take care.
All right. See you
Bye-bye.
later.
All right. See you later.
with my heart. Yeah, your looks are laughable, unphotographable. Yeah, yeah, you're my favorite work of art. Yeah, is your figure less than Greek? Is your mouth a little weak when you open it to speak? Are you smart? Yeah, babe, but don't change your hair for me. Not if you